This is a Black Nouveau web exclusive. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated mental health challenges for many across the world and right here in our city of Milwaukee. Today, I'm speaking with the founders of Black Space on a project that is helping the community heal. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. So let's first just get started with telling us a little bit about how Black Space started. So Corey and Darius, tell us a little bit about this project.
Start us off, Darius.
Okay, so the idea for Black Space came. So I led a couple protests in Milwaukee, and I found myself being like more so mentally drained and physically drained from just constantly being on the forefront of just doing the things over the summer, and it was physically and mentally draining. Then I found myself kind of going into a little bit of a state of depression from constantly being out there fighting. And then I reached out to Corey and I was like, hey, Corey, like, I got this idea. I want to do a group therapy session, you know, but I'm having a hard time finding therapists. I had a really hard time finding a therapist. And Corey told me, hey, have you tried my therapist, Dr. Knox? She's a wonderful woman. She's very in tune with what's going on and everything. And it really just worked out beautifully. Corey can speak on it. Dr. Knox is everything that we needed. Corey, go ahead and speak on it, Corey.
Yeah, I was experiencing anxiety for the very first time last year at the beginning of COVID. It was after my 8 years of being in the military. That was my first time ever experiencing an anxiety attack. And my director directed me towards Dr. Knox. We sat down, and obviously at the beginning, I was just kind of like skeptical. Didn't really know what to expect. And then after that, Dr. Knox just talked to me, and she knew all the subtle nuances that I didn't have to explain. I didn't have to explain to her the family dynamic of supporting one another or anything like that. So we were able to try to honestly get straight to the meat and bones of certain situations. And I knew that the community would love Dr. Knox, especially for those type of nuanced understandings, and that this will be a great opportunity for many people to be able to experience group therapy and to hopefully have this interest that follows them into having their own quest for a group or their own quest for one-on-one therapy.
And Corey and Darius, you were very specific in the groups that you wanted to help get mental health services to. How did you go about selecting the type of groups that you really wanted to be able to be comfortable in these spaces?
Corey, you want me to do it?
I can do it. We wanted to be very intentional about the groups that we wanted to work with. Initially, it was only for the Black community because there's that stigma looming over the Black community when it comes to therapy. But we wanted to dissect it into 3 separate groups where 3 separate groups were able to feel safe within their what they wanted to talk about. And then we also understood that these separate groups between women, LGBTQIA plus, and men all live separate lives. So we wanted to actually create a safe space for each of these groups to kind of like live in. Now we're expanding it out to Black and brown individuals, but we're still keeping the 3 groups of women, LGBTQIA plus, and men.
And Dr. Knox, you were so highly recommended by these gentlemen. I'm curious, what have the spaces been like from a professional perspective? What have you been observing?
The spaces have been absolutely phenomenal. I've been doing individual, family, and group therapy, as well as speaking engagements, media presentations for about 20 plus years, and it has blown my mind. I've done the group therapy experiences, and it's not group therapy experiences with the African American men, women, and LGBTQIA communities with Black Space. And it has been the most heartfelt, the most healing, the most enriching experiences for the groups as well as for me, Corey, and Darius. They've been able to express how they've been doing during the pandemic as well as during this time of social unrest and social injustice. It's a very much so safe space for every individual to be while holding confidentiality. They have been able to talk about, you know what, I didn't even know what therapy was like. I was afraid. I remember the Tuskegee Airmen experiments, learning about it in school. I didn't feel safe in these spaces. There weren't any Black therapists available. But once they saw that, hey, Dr. Knox is Black, and it's not as scary as I thought, the destigmatization started to come down, because as soon as you see another person that looks like you right away, that's about 10 notches that are off of your shoulder. Once the therapy experiences were done, the groups together, they went to eat, they still connected with each other. And during these sessions, I was able to give resources so that they were able to go and talk to other therapists if need be, but it was a rich and wonderful experiences, very connected.
And Dr. Knox, what would you say have been some of the common themes that you have been hearing during these sessions?
Common themes were hopelessness, feeling like no matter what I've done, no matter how many marches, no matter what I've done to improve myself during 2020, part of 2019, it hasn't been good enough because the social climate, political climate, my job situation, it's still the same. Our climate in the United States is still the same. Anxiety and depression because of what's going on out here, as well as my family. I can't really go to my family and friends and tell them I'm feeling as though I don't want to be here anymore. Not necessarily I want to kill myself, but I don't want to be here anymore because someone might think I'm crazy. Someone might try to take away my kids or view me as differently. I don't want to lose that reputation. Another theme is I feel as though I really don't have a therapist of color out there. I can't find one, or I can't afford therapy. I don't have the money. I don't have the insurance. There are no resources out there for somebody like me. Or I don't really know where to go or who to talk to. And I don't think I connect with anyone. But then when they see everyone around them sitting in that circle that is going through the same thing, it's a wonderful thing. So those are the common themes that I was seeing.
So many different themes. Thank you so much for sharing that. Darius, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering this too. What are some of the safety precautions that you all have in place as far as, physical safety, because we are in a pandemic, but also like emotional safety? I can imagine it's probably pretty difficult for people to really get vulnerable in a group setting initially.
Yeah, I think for the all the other situations, we definitely have the therapy sessions spread apart, so we have enough, so everybody is socially distant. We do require people to wear masks while are in the session, but as far as safety wise, we just want people to come and just be themselves. We just, you don't have to, and just like Dr. Knox said, it's not a therapy session, it's like a therapy experience, just to get yourself prepared for what therapy could look like, what therapy can be for you. So for me, and for Corey and Dr. Knox, if we just want people to come and just be themselves and be as open as as you want to be. If you don't want to share too much, then that's fine. If that can also, you know, the openness can come from when Dr. Knox, she has pamphlets, she has other therapists that's within the city that can do therapy. It's just an experience just for people can have that notion upon like therapy looks like this for me. It's not actually what I thought therapy was, and it's okay if you don't have a lot of knowledge upon therapy. It's okay. You can come inside here as 100% a novice and leave with so much knowledge upon what therapy looks like for me.
Thank you, Darius. And I guess the $1 million question, Corey, is when is the next one and how do people get involved?
So everyone can be able to get involved. Is coming this coming Saturday and Sunday, January 30th and January 31st. There's 2 sets of group for women on Saturday and Sunday. Same thing for LGBTQIA and also for men. You're able to we're gonna send over the link to you guys, but the link is a link tree, backspace, blackspace, MKE. You're able to see the different categories that we may have for those 2 days. Sundays, the Sunday session is filling up pretty quickly. So I would advise you to be able to sign up as soon as possible. But if right now it's too soon for you all, we'll be able to have more sessions coming in the closing months of spring, or in the springtime, definitely, once that time comes around.
Awesome. This sounds like such an amazing event for the community and much needed during this time. So thank you, Corey, Dr. Knox, and Darius for taking the time to tell us all about Black Space, and we will provide the information to our viewers for anyone that is interested. So thanks for taking the time, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.